Alright, so for those of you who follow me over on Twitter, you probably have seen this tweet by this time, and you were probably extremely confused. A lot of you know who Chris is, my friend who is in my streams and stuff quite often, and obviously, made a threat towards him. But this wasn't my tweet, this is actually a new copy pasta that started today because of FaZe Banks. So, a bunch of shit has gone down, basically, with FaZe Clan. To kind of, I guess, give a little bit of backstory behind it. You probably know who TFue is, the Fortnite player and streamer who is under, or at least was under, the FaZe Clan organization. Well, he is suing FaZe Clan, and he has, I guess, removed all of his mentioning and whatnot of the team from all of his social media, so I guess he's pretty much out of the org and is suing them for an oppressive contract. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that, but first I do want to say, I am a fan of Banks and FaZe Clan, and I'm also a fan of 100 Thieves, okay? I like FaZe Clan simply because they've done a lot for esports altogether. They've helped popularize organizations and YouTube content that I've been very familiar with over the years, So I've always invested some interest into FaZe Clan, even if it's not necessarily, I guess, doing what it used to be doing, or whatever's going on with that whole thing. But I'm also a big fan of 100 Thieves, okay? Because the organization is just, it's awesome altogether. I like a lot of the streamers. I'm partially a fan of the COD team, stuff like that, So I do enjoy both of these teams. I do want to go ahead and say that before we get into this whole thing, because you know how people are going to be about this whole thing. You basically have two fan groups going at each other right now with this story. So obviously, to be part of this organization, TFue had to file a contract. They made him sign a contract basically because, well, let's be honest, there's a decent amount of money involved, obviously, when, you got one of the best Fortnite players in the world, you got one of the biggest gaming organizations in the world, and you're trying to combine those two things. There's money involved in that, so of course the contract's gonna get signed. Well, apparently, TFue has said that this is basically a contract that takes advantage of him. So we're going to go ahead and detail some of the problems with his contract according to him, talk about the responses, and I guess what's going to happen going forward from what we know right now. So TFue officially filed his lawsuit today, I guess this morning, and he states that they're limiting his ability to pursue his profession in violation of California's laws. One of the big details that's been thrown around so far already is the price cut that FaZe Clan and TFue are dividing when it comes to different portions of his revenue. So TFue obviously has several different income sources with this whole thing. I mean, streaming donations and Twitch Prime subs and stuff like that. Then, of course, he has his prize winnings, because, he literally plays Fortnite professionally. I think he won back-to-back solo events, okay? So he does that. He obviously is going to have sponsorships. He's one of the biggest names in gaming. People are definitely going to want to buy some advertising with him. There's probably even more that I don't really know about or can think about right off the top of my head. Well, he's alleging that when it comes to his sponsorship cuts, FaZe Clan is taking 80% of that money while only leaving him 20%. So if he does a branded video on social media, he's basically only taken home a fifth of the money that was paid for that. So, generally speaking, a branded video, a brand would approach him or his manager or his contacts or whatever. They'd be like, hey, we want to have him promote this product on social media in a video or in a tweet or something like that. We'll give, let's say, $100,000. And that's the thing, people don't understand this. When you're as big as TFue, you can pull $100,000 for branded social videos and stuff. Maybe not for one, but there's definitely deals he can sign where he's going to be getting a pretty penny. EA was paying people absurd amounts of money to play Apex Legends. So, these guys, when they're this big, they are worth a lot of money. Even if you're just a very specific YouTuber, if you have anywhere in the millions of subscribers, you might be talking about 5 digits when it comes to sponsorships, just for a 30-second integration, So let's say that they offer him $100,000 to do a 2-minute video on some energy drink, right? Well, if he does that, okay, he only gets $20,000, which, oh no, not just $20,000, I understand, but he could be earning way more than that from that. He's the one putting in the work on it and whatnot, but FaZe Clan is apparently taking 80% of this cut, Not necessarily a very good trade-off, I would say. And the thing is that I think people don't understand is when you sign to an organization like that, and this is a part of his complaint too, is that he's not really allowed to accept sponsorships that FaZe Clan doesn't really want him to accept. So if you join an organization, pretty much they have to sign off on a lot of these sponsorships, if not all of them, okay? Let's say, like I said, Red Bull is sponsored with FaZe Clan. I don't know if they are or not. I don't know their sponsors, but, you know, FaZe Clan and Red Bull are partnered, okay, and TFue's under FaZe. Let's say, even if he's only getting maybe $5,000 for promoting Red Bull, let's say Mountain Dew's Game Fuel comes along and they want to pay him $55,000 to do basically the same amount of work, but basically just to promote a different brand. TFue can't accept that deal because FaZe Clan is not going to let him. FaZe Clan is going to obviously stick with who they're getting money from. They're not going to turn that sponsorship away. And that's the thing about orgs that people, I think, don't realize. You know, when you sign to a lot of these big orgs, they really take over your career for you in a lot of ways. And that's TFue's biggest problem here. He thinks, or I guess he's alleging in this lawsuit, that not only are they taking an extremely disproportionate amount of his sponsorship earnings and whatnot, but also they're taking the majority of his money for like his touring and appearances and stuff. So if he gets paid to show up somewhere, FaZe Clan is taking most of the money from that, even though of course he's the one going there and whatnot. Now apparently he did try to terminate his agreement back in September of 2018. He said that they'd breached their deal. I don't necessarily understand how they breached it. I don't think he really said anything about it. But basically, FaZe got the final say on whether or not they were going to throw this deal out and either renegotiate or let him walk. They said no, and he had to remain a member of the team because he was under contract. So apparently they've just been kind of screwing him around. And another accusation that he made was that he was apparently pressured to live in one of the FaZe creator houses. You know, these organizations, a lot of them have these houses where a bunch of their creators and, you know, streamers and players and whatnot all live together. Well, anyway, he alleges that they basically pressured and forced him into living in one of these houses with all these other people, and that he was apparently given alcohol before he was even legally able to drink, because in the US, you know, the age to drink is 21. He also says that the organization signed an 11-year-old and pressured him to lie about his age that way, because, I mean, you obviously can't sign a contract until you're 18 without your parents signing off on it and whatnot, but he's basically accusing them of a lot of shit. And honestly, you know, like I said, I like both Nadeshot and Banks, but, you know, they throw some shit back and forth. So Banks comes on Twitter and says, yo, this whole thing with TFue is pretty unbelievable. The first thing I'd like to say is we do not and have never taken 80% of anyone's prize money. Not sure where that came from, but a contract like that has never existed. We've collected zero from Turner's prize money. Once again, I don't think he ever mentioned the prize money being what they were taking 80% of, but maybe I missed out on something. Anyway, then he continued, I'm pretty bummed out, man. Like, F all the business stuff, the money stuff. This is really gonna F with me personally for a long time. I met TFue when he was getting 100 viewers on Twitch. I attached myself and fully committed to helping him succeed, and it worked. And to have all this dropped on my head without any warning, it blows my mind. I still don't fully believe Turner knows or understands what these claims are. I believe his team put this in front of him and encouraged him to follow through. I'm heartbroken, homies. Like I said, I can't confirm or deny any of these details. Obviously, I wasn't there. I've never read the dude's contract. You know, I don't know. But Nadeshot made a tweet, okay, and it wasn't even bad, okay? Like, I gotta defend Nadeshot here. He basically said something like, despite all the negative news about esports organizations today, please remember that there are organizations out there who don't take advantage of their players or whatever. And Banks basically lost it, okay? And that's where my copy pasta tweet here comes in. He said, you're a piece of shit, dude, and when my side of this is heard, you'll see why. Way to effing jump on the bandwagon and chase the clout. You must be dancing right now. Matt, I'm going to personally make sure you regret tweeting this and adding to the bullshit dumpster fire. Alright, so, you know, like I said, I don't know. Okay, when it comes down to his contract details, I can't say whether or not he was robbed. But here's my whole thing, okay? If you read that contract, and you see that they want to take 80% of any cut of your revenue ever, why would you accept that deal? Now, I guess they might try to say that it was like an unspoken thing and it wasn't in the contract necessarily and he kind of got tricked. I don't know. But I mean, if any org ever laid a contract in front of me ready to sign and they said, hey, we're going to take 80% of your sponsorship revenue, that's a no-go. So I don't necessarily know what was going on. I mean, maybe that wasn't part of it. Maybe he didn't know that that was going to happen. I don't know. I'm just here kind of talking about the whole thing thus far, what's being accused, what's being alleged, who's saying what, and giving my personal opinion on some of all this, but I can't speak for TFue. I don't know what he was thinking if he signed that contract like that. You know, I don't know, man. There's a lot of different ways. Maybe he really needed the money. Maybe he thought that it was the only way he could blow up. I don't know. A lot of different things could happen, man. That's the thing about this. And honestly, this is one of those dangers, it seems like, of joining some of these orgs. I mean, we've seen a lot of examples of esports teams basically falling under because they won't pay their players, they won't pay creators, they're holding prize earnings over people's heads, they're abusing contract terms, things like that, okay? You know, this seems to be kind of a common occurrence in this profession. So why aren't anyone doing anything, you know? Why are we not doing anything to protect these players? Why is there not some sort of, like, guidelines? Why are they not being protected like a celebrity would, you know? Because this whole thing just doesn't make sense when you think about it. Like, all these players and people are getting screwed out of all this money and stuff, and nobody's banded together yet and fixed the problem. Usually money is pretty much the indicator that something will get fixed. Not here. I don't know much more than this, guys. I'm not going to say anything that I don't know. So this is basically what's happened thus far. If anything else kind of really comes out of this, I guess I'll make an update video here in a couple days or whenever it happens. But for now, this is pretty much everything, man. It's internal conflict for FaZe Clan. Some cheeky jabs by triple OG Nady Baby, who, by the way, is basically friends with Dan Gilbert and Drake. They're both investors in 100 Thieves. That's pretty crazy. So I was kind of wrapping this whole thing up. I was making this video pretty much literally almost getting ready to render it. And then FaZe Clan responded to the allegations and stuff with an official statement. And obviously, I don't think it would be very fair to present TFue's side of this whole thing and allow his allegations and whatnot to basically go unchecked, considering that I had the time to obviously include FaZe Clan's side in it. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're shocked and disappointed to see the news of TFue's press article and lawsuit over the course of our partnership with him, which began in April of 2018. FaZe Clan has collected 0 tournament winnings, 0 Twitch revenue, 0 YouTube revenue, 0 from any social platform. In fact, we've only collected a total of $60,000 from our partnership, while TFue has earned millions as a member of FaZe Clan. While contracts are different with each player, all of them, including TFue's, have a maximum of 20% to FaZe Clan in both tournament winnings as well as content revenue, with 80% going to the player. In Turner's case, or TFue's case, neither of those were collected by FaZe Clan. We are proud of what we accomplished together over the past year with Turner and will continue to support him. Keep in mind, this makes no mention of taking 80% of his actual sponsorship money, you know? I guess they tried to cover that with any social platform, but, you know, the wording is what really unnerves me about that whole thing. I just wanted to present this side of it. I will leave this up to you guys to decipher on your own. Do you believe FaZe Clan? Do you believe TFue? Who do you believe in this whole thing? You're around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at @SubToptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Join the Discord down below. Lots of great things going on down there. And thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. If you'd like to become a channel member and help support my content for only $5 a month, you can do so by hitting the join button down below or the become a channel member link in the description. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, losing 80% of my sponsorship money because I'm part of an org, and signing out.